shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Come
Now
on, shake your
we're
body,
right.
baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer.
You didn't know I could do that, my tongue.
I didn't know you could do that.
Welcome to Ron&Nick's Best Friend podcast that you cannot live without.
Can't live without it.
Broadcasting to hundreds and thousands of people all over the world.
All over the world. No, actually, anybody in the world that has a computer.
All right.
Wow, that's making the table rock. I like that. Wow, that's.
Do you remember that era back
Oh
then?
my gosh, yeah. Gloria Stefan, yeah.
All right.
That's great.
It's
Love
been-
it, love it, love it.
it's
That's
been a couple
another
weeks.
one of my workout songs.
Is this a workout song?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay. What's my workout song rule?
It has to grab you in the first 10 seconds.
10 seconds. If I'm not moving my head up and down or moving something in 10 seconds.
Do you play the
stop.
song the whole way, or do you mix it?
No. The whole thing. That's like I told you I got like 31 workout playlists. I have 31, one for each day of the month. So whatever day it is, like today, what's today? The 14th?
Yeah.
Today's the 14th, and I played playlist number 14, and I just hit shuffle and
Are you gonna play it now?
whatever plays. No,
No,
what? And then I also have 31 cool down playlists, and all of those have they're all about love because I like love. I like love.
All right, listen.
I love Lamp.
A real little shout out here to Alex.
Alex,
Who is our what is Alex's official title? Marketing strategist.
I would call him our
media.
our media technician.
Yeah. My friend Alex. That's another story. One day we'll talk about how we got to meet him. He's in California. He's a student that is studying
I think he's studying film, isn't he?
film. Yes, for Christian film. That's one of his things he wants to do. Yeah, Christian movies and all that kind of stuff. And he's a little bit sick, has a virus, and apparently he texted us last night, 12 o'clock California time, that he went to the hospital for some heart issues. So hopefully we can connect with him. And if you feel led to pray for him, that would be great.
Yeah.
Pray for that boy.
Yep, please do.
I want to talk real quick. Listen, we had no subject. We met earlier today, this morning, prayed, have no particular subject, but I do want to bring up one thing here. I just want to kind of be a little bit transparent here. Last week, or a couple weeks ago, and I don't want to get into the details of it, but we got some analytic information about the podcast, and we were in discussion about it and on the phone. Then we hung up, and whatever the Spirit told you, and whatever told me, He told me. And when I talked to you again, you said you were laughing at it. You start laughing, okay? Because all the pistons are firing now. We're doing reels 5 days a week. We're getting tremendous response. And last week or 2 weeks ago, analytics were just really weird. It was just really weird. And you said to me, just talk about what the Spirit told you to say, or what He told you.
About
You just start
that?
laughing.
No, I'm not sure that the Spirit told me that, but I did just laugh at
Well,
it.
that's what and there's what I want to go, because I start laughing at it. And, okay, that is it. Because I sat there and this morning before you came in, I'm praying and I'm thinking about that, and I said, okay, Lord, I laughed at those analytics. Okay, I know. Immediately I said, okay. The deceiver, Satan, whatever you want to call him, the liar, whatever. This is an attack, and I'm just going to laugh at it, and that's it. And we're going to move forward, and we're going to, this is not going to be an issue here. And then I start thinking, wait a second, was that of the Holy Spirit, or was that me? I start laughing the same thing. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. Was that my own? What's the word? Push through difficulty, and I'm not going to, or was that the Holy Spirit saying, hey, let me remind you how the deceiver attacks and how he discourages, and remind you that I'm in you, I'm with you, I'm for you. And so that was my revelation here. Funny that you said that.
I'm not even sure that's it. I'm not inclined to go, well, things are not going right, then it's the devil. I don't say that. I don't throw that around lightly. Um, at the same time, you can't get away from the fact that there is a kingdom agenda, and then there's opposition to that agenda. That's the fact. There is a kingdom agenda. God says, pray this way. Jesus says, your kingdom come, your will be done. Our Father, your kingdom come. And then there's opposition from the enemy, who is the person that's here to kill, steal, kill, and destroy. And so you can't leave it out altogether. But I mean, look, let's say no. I don't mind getting into details. Like we go up to a certain amount of listenership, and you go, okay, things are growing, and I like being part of things that are growing. One of the reasons I was depressed for many years was that I felt stagnant in church growth, and I was like, what's wrong with me? There must be something wrong with me. The church isn't growing. There's no numerical growth, and it was a real problem.
Yeah.
So I like to be part of growing things, moving things. And so our listenership is going up and up and up. And then all of a sudden, and our views on the reels is going up and up and up. And then in 1 week, and these I don't understand even how these are connected. Our listenership on the podcast is cut in half, and according to analytics. And our views on all of the reels goes down almost 1,000%. So you go, okay, there's a 50% loss in listenership and a 1,000% loss in viewers of the reels, and then and not only that, but it coincides with an actual change in effort to
that's right.
to further the reach of this show.
Correct.
And so that's why I laughed. I'm like, we didn't do anything different, and we haven't done anything different, and then that happens. I mean, the only thing different that we've done is produce more content that is being put out, which you would think would cause growth.
Correct.
And so I laugh about it because I've been through this so many times at this point in my life that I have to go, okay, this is just funny. This is just funny. And also I say about this show, and I said it on the last episode, I think it was the last episode, that this show, the content that you get, when we say this is the podcast you can't live without, I'm not kidding. The content that is out there that you can access, and people who are listening do access all the time, these reels, these podcasts, it's worse than a waste of time. It's actually it's worse than wasting your time. How do I know that? Well, because I've accessed a lot of content, and it isn't just wasting my time. It's actually pumping crap into my brain that I then have to deprogram myself from, because it's crap. It's not life. It isn't freedom. It isn't truth. And so here we are, like pumping out like great content into the stream.
Yeah.
And it all of a sudden just goes poof like that.
Look, I appreciate you when you because I didn't even know you were going to say that when you said, well, I'm not sure if it was the Holy Spirit. So saying that, because that was the next question that came in my head when I was thinking that, was this. Okay, so you laughed at it. I said, can the Holy Spirit tell you, to remind you, hey, how Satan works and how the deceiver works, and okay, so here's the next thing. Okay, I think for me it was the Holy Spirit. Okay, for me, I believe that I heard that because I was more into the how do we fix this, what's the issue, and then all of a sudden I laugh like you. I go, okay, I was reminded. So here's my next, because this is a show about the Holy Spirit, right? So we're going to talk about the Holy Spirit. Here's my next thing. Okay, so you're in depression, because I thought about you right after that. You're in depression, and
not currently.
No, you were in depression
a long time.
And you can't see in front of you. I don't want to describe it because it's your testimony. But here's the thing. You did hear the Holy Spirit in that depression, or was it you saying, wait a second, I am not alone. There's a spirit listen, here's the thing. There's a spirit inside me. I need to reach in and find it. Or was the Spirit telling you that? It's maybe a fine line, but I'm just trying to get it clear for people in the audience. You're sitting there in despair. Something has happened, okay? And you look inside yourself. I use the word you. You look inside yourself and you say, and if this sounds too crazy, Ron, we'll skip it. But who is the one that is reminding you that there's God living inside you? The Spirit of Jesus is living inside you with answers and comfort. And you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's fascinating. This is just a discussion I had last night with one of our tribe members. Like, I was talking to Fancy last night, and we had this exact discussion about like where because when you're stuck in mental illness, let's say you're stuck in anxiety or bipolar or depression or any of these things, if it depends upon you to find your way out of it, you're in trouble, because your mind is broken. Your mind isn't working, isn't helping. It's working against you. Then that gets your body working against you. Then that gets your emotions working against you, and it's like this terrible cycle of mental illness. But I said to Fancy last night, I knew even in my depression, I knew that I was hearing the voice of Jesus. I was still hearing the voice of the Holy Spirit, Spirit of Christ, Spirit of God, Spirit of Jesus. I was hearing, and I would hear him say things to me. And I wrote down a lot of the things that he said during depression, and some of them are pretty profound. But the funny thing about it is I was still depressed.
Okay.
I was still depressed, but I knew that he was, I knew he didn't leave me. I knew that he was speaking to me. And so I actually was talking to her about that. Like, how does that work? Like, because I've said to people, and I've said on this show, and I've said to you, well, the Holy Spirit spoke.
Right.
I have it. Eventually he said, I about the depression, I have it. Yeah. And I said, that was him. He broke through, and then things changed. So I've been implying that.
You heard it, and it was cured.
Yeah, hearing him, and then it was cured.
Yeah.
Which is technically, it is true, but then there must be another element to it. Because, two things. One is it didn't just immediately get better. It started to get better. On the other hand, now that I was reflecting, it's like, no, I heard the voice of the Spirit before. And why did the voice of the Spirit not free me from depression then? And the conclusion that we came to talking through this last night was about choice. It's about like choosing. What are you going to choose? Like just because I tell you, hey, I'm your friend and I want to help you, does not mean that you are going to accept my friendship or my help. Listen, free moral agents.
What'd you say?
Free moral agents, which is what we are. It means you have a choice. You can love someone, but that doesn't mean you can make them do things that you love. You can love a person plenty, but that doesn't mean you can get them to do the things that you love, or that you will love the things that they do. Loving someone doesn't ensure their actions at all, and that's obviously where God is at all times. So the choice was that was the answer that we came up with last night. It's choice. Do you choose to believe him? Do you choose his friendship over all the other things? And listen, when I was talking earlier about all the things that are, why the content here is life, there are a lot of things. There were a lot of other things to look into about curing depression. There's the interwebs. There's Reddit. There's WebMD. There's um, there's doctors. There's treatments. There's all these. There's even therapy. There's counseling. All these things that are there, and they're not necessarily bad things, but they're not the thing. And the thing isn't a thing. He's a person. So I'm still, I don't know. I'm answering your question right.
No, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Again, it struck me on. I mean, it's very interesting that you said that you don't know. At least we started with you didn't know if the Holy Spirit was telling you to laugh, and I'm telling you it was the Holy Spirit. And then again, I'm just repeating what I just said. That I start thinking about who is thinking about it when I think about him. I hate to put the word "I" in the things that I have to. I mean, there's there's yourself, there's the Spirit, there's the enemy. You used to talk about there's a fourth voice, which is the past, possibly.
Well, there's the culture. There's all kinds of voices.
Okay. And so when I think about why I'm thinking about this, I'm saying, was this me thinking about the Holy Spirit, or is the Holy Spirit reminding me about something? And I'm just playing this game in my head. Listen, I didn't get wrapped up into it. I'm not going to dwell over it. It was just a thought. Like, what made me laugh? Did he remind me? Like, did he remind me to laugh, or was it me that reminded myself to laugh because I knew that the Spirit? And maybe it doesn't even matter. It was just a question that I was just thinking to myself. And then I thought about you immediately with depression. And it's very interesting. You're saying that you were hearing the Holy Spirit while you were depressed. And I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, he would say... Yeah,
I've done that with eating.
Yeah.
I'm eating, and the Spirit is saying, you shouldn't be eating. And I'm going, different? Well...
I mean, that would imply that gluttony and depression are the same thing, and I'm not sure that I would agree with that. I have to think about that.
Well, when you're feeling all alone,
mm-hmm.
and the Spirit says, I'm with you,
mm-hmm.
and I hate to I'm not going to say the word choose, but you still feel all alone.
Oh, okay. Then I see that. That's one of the things.
That's what I'm talking about.
Eating would be one of the things that you're doing to not feel bad. Right? Is that what you mean?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then they're okay. Got you. Yeah. Yeah. There's only one thing that connects you with life. There's only one thing that's going to connect you with, like, having a life. And this is weird about the Spirit. Like, we talk about how gentle he is and patient and kind and all these things, which has got to be true. But for years and years and years, I've ignored him. And when I stopped ignoring him, he was more than willing to strike up a friendship with me, and to become even more, real to me and reveal himself to me, which has been beautiful and fun and amazing. There just has to be. This is going to sound weird. The very narrow way that you have to eventually get to is this. If you're going to come into full friendship with the Spirit, you're going to go through a way that is so narrow that everything's going off. Everything's going to pop off of you. Nothing's going through that way except for you and him. That's it. That's how narrow it gets. And I'm not saying that's a demand. I don't think it's a demand on the part of heaven. Like, I demand that you do it. I think it's just like gravity. I think it's just like a fact. You can't have a friendship with the Holy Spirit and have friendship with something else. To start with, you have to go through this place where all you have is friendship with him to come into the fullness of that, and then everything else can become something that you can experience and enjoy with him. But if you're trying to take him and something else through the narrow way is too narrow for that. Nothing's going through there. Food ain't going through there. Your drinking ain't going through there. Your marriage ain't going through there. Your kids ain't going through there. Nothing's going through there but you and him. But once you pop through that spot, and this is what happened to me, maybe that was the process of hearing him, and he was, come on, keep coming. It's getting narrower. It's getting narrow. And it got so narrow that I thought I was dying. I thought I was losing my life. And then I have it. Pow. And I believe him and only him. And I want him and only him. And I pop through into the wide way. And I go, oh, there's a whole lot of stuff out here that's like, yeah, but now I know what the best thing is. There's nothing better than him.